Welcome to the Perspective Drop. I'm Joe Hehn, a mindset and spiritual mentor known for igniting real time transformations at the deepest level. This isn't a space for performance, perfection, or pretending. It's a space for truth, courage, and the kind of clarity that can change everything. Each episode, you'll witness someone brave enough to lay it all down, their fears, their patterns, their pain, in exchange for a new perspective, one that can unlock the freedom they've been seeking for all along. These are unscripted coaching sessions. We're talking about raw stories and live breakthroughs. Whether you're awakening, unraveling, or simply longing for something more, welcome to the Perspective Drop. Let's begin. Tell everybody listening, watching a little bit about yourself.
So I am 23 years old. I'm born and raised in a town called Evergreen, Colorado. It's west of Denver, about 30 minutes between Denver and the ski mountains. So I grew up skiing, fishing, hunting, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome.
Ended up going to Ohio State for college. Loved Columbus. I'm an avid Ohio State fan now. Um, when I graduated, my parents actually moved to South Carolina, a town called Beaufort, which is outside of Hilton Head, like near Hilton Head. So I crashed with them for like 6, 7 months and ended up taking a job working fully remote in the technology sales business
Oh,
in Charleston. And then you and I had spoke, and I attribute a lot of what happened a couple of months later, not even a month later. I got a call from my old boss from a sports agency because I always wanted to go back into sports, who went to a rival agency and was like, I want you to come work for me and come work for us. We have a role opening. And I interviewed, and then it was like, can you get to New York in 3 weeks? So I sold my car, got a rental car, and I have moved into the city, found some roommates, and I have been in New York for about 2 months now, in the job for 2 months. So a lot has changed.
damn. Yeah, right, man. That was a big shift. Could you tell people what was kind of going on? And thank you for all that. I mean, super, brrrt, like a
Yeah.
lot of life change, moved across country several times and everything. But tell people what was going on with the initial job that you had. And just when you reached out to me, you were in a certain space. If you can kind of go deeper on that and share what was going on, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So I not that I don't want to say like I've always had the dream to work in sports, but I had it when I got to college, especially being at Ohio State. And so I was fortunate enough to land an internship with a sports agency called Athletes First between my junior and senior year, and that took me out to California. Had a great internship there. They kept me on throughout my senior year of college, and then when come hiring time in May, when I was graduating, they had got out by a venture capitalist firm, and so they were on kind of a hiring freeze and still figuring out where to go, and so it just didn't work out. And so at that point, I needed to make some money, and I needed to get out of my parents' house and figure something out. So I ended up just taking a job in technology sales. Just because I was like, I don't think it's gonna work out in sports. I tried for a while to get into sports, and so when it didn't work out, I was a little discouraged.
Can I say something here? So,
Mhm.
everybody listening, did you hear what he said? This is really powerful on experiencing the shift. He believed it wouldn't work out. And from what I teach, everything that we know, mindset, psychologically, neuroscience, spiritually, what we believe externalizes outside of ourselves and becomes our reality. So, quantum mechanics, everything's lined up that those beliefs, those thoughts, and whatever evidence Adam was looking at, he took all that evidence and goes, I believe it wouldn't work out. And when we spoke, I remember being like, what proof do we have of that? Right. And so just catching everybody on those, we got to catch those internally when we have these certain beliefs that are limiting beliefs. They limit our potential, our possibility to do what we want with life. And he just clearly stated, I didn't believe it was going to work out. And he may not have had any like definitive evidence. He just believed that. So sometimes we have concrete evidence, we think, and sometimes we don't. It's just unconscious conditioning, but either way, that stuff can be rewritten. We can create empowering beliefs and then be the driving forces to create external change. So just wanted to make a little note on that. Thank you, Adam. You can continue.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's funny because all these people in the sports industry, when I was kind of deciding, do I leave? Like, which I do, everyone was telling me if you leave, like, it was like their narrative was like, if you leave, you can never get back in. Like, you just can't get back into sports. If you leave sports, you won't get back in. And so I had
All
that
limiting
belief.
beliefs too, like,
Yes.
you're gonna get from all these other people, and then the whole industry is kind of brainwashed, right? "Well, this is the way it is with us. This is the way it is." It's like, "Why is it that way? Why can't I leave and come back? Like, prove to me that this is true," right? But we're just conditioned to believe this stuff because, well, that's what I was told, and that's what I was told, and that's what I was told. And you see that it's like a whole industry is brainwashed with a limiting belief.
Oh, it's super. And so when I went into tech, I had done a really good job just in general of just keeping my network. And so I pinged everyone I met in sports like, hey, I'm going into technology sales. This is what I'm doing. And then after you and I talked, I just started doing affirmations. Not that I was had this dream like I need to go back into sports. Like I had a pretty great life in Charleston. I was working remote, laying by the pool a lot, going to the beach a lot. It was very simple. Um,
We're all crying
and
for that horrible experience that you went through. It sounds traumatizing, especially laying by the pool and doing work.
yeah,
Yeah.
and well, what ends up happening is I really when we had spoke, I really took, and I'm sure we'll get into, I really took what you said to heart, and so I had these affirmations, and this is, I truly believe this is why I'm in New York. I was doing affirmations like 9 times a day, 3 times in the morning, 3 times at lunch, 3 times at dinner. I was doing gratitude journaling, not expecting anything, but one of my affirmations was like, I have opportunities flowing to me all the time. Like opportunities just flow to me, and then I'm sitting on my couch, and yeah, my now boss texted me and was like, "Hey, are you still interested in sports?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we jumped on a call real quick. It's like, "Hey, this is what's happening. We're hiring. You came to mind right away. Would love to have you here." And um, it all happened really quickly from there. And now I'm here, and I love my job. It is way better than the old job.
Phenomenal. Super happy for you and congratulations. You sent me an email. You're like, dude, this is what happened. I was just like, wow, this is so cool. I see this time and time and time again, but it's so cool because each story is so intimate and beautiful. And it's like watching, different great movies. Even though they're the coming of age story and the happy ending and everything's great, it's still so individualized and so personal and spiritual and sacred. So when you were telling me everything, I was very proud of you, one, and just very, very happy because I could tell this authentic stream of man, dude, like this shit works. I've done it. I'm in New York. All this stuff has happened. I can't believe it. So if you could talk a little bit about how kind of mind-blowing that shift was for you, how fast it happened, and then we'll kinda get into, like, what I had you do and everything like that, but just when this was happening and you're selling your car and you're gearing up to move, I know that you had to break your lease and you thought that was gonna be a
uh,
problem, and, like, it ended up being great, and you had roommates there, and they found some place saving money, like, all these things started, like, these dominoes falling into place for your betterment that were, like, kinda greasing the wheels and making this transition kinda go pretty smoothly from what you were telling me.
Yeah, the dominoes fell into place. So, we were 5 months into a 14-month lease, a 3-bedroom, me and 2 of my good friends, and so when I went down to the leasing office and was like, "Hey, this is exactly what happened." This apartment complex is huge, okay? They were like, "Oh, we can actually move your 2 roommates that's opening up right next door in 3 weeks," like, right when I was leaving, "an apartment, a 2-bedroom right next door for both of your buddies." And like you're good. Like we can get your 3 bed for more money. Like we'll let you guys off basically scot free. And the move took them 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally right next
They just
door.
put a hole in the wall, right, and just sucked everything through. They're like, "We'll patch that up later." Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then it was unbelievable. So then I put on my Instagram story like, "Hey, I'm moving to New York. I start a job in a month. Does anybody know anybody?" Just started pinging people. One of my really good buddies from college actually reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm moving to New York at the same time. Like this is crazy. Like I'm about to get a job offer. Like do you want to live together?" And I was perfect. And then I had another friend reach out to me. He's like, "Hey, a good friend of mine is also looking to move to New York at the same time." Like I jumped out of FaceTime. He's gonna be one of my best friends for a long time. So now,
Yeah, that's
so it all worked out, and we were looking for an apartment, and this place came on market, and it's in the price range. It's in a perfect location. It has a gym, which is huge for New York.
yeah.
I have a really big room, which is big for New York.
Yeah, yeah.
And my commute's about 20 minutes to the office every day. Like it truly couldn't have worked out better. Sold my car at a great price,
I'm
which
about to
was
say,
great.
I mean, it's selling your car is hard alone. People struggle with all this, but like, what was your mindset through all of these things that were happening? Because it sounds like everything just kind of fell into place better than expected if you could expect stuff.
Yeah, the mindset was it just felt like this is what I was supposed to be doing. Um, like I was in kind of just letting a river guide me.
Mhm. Like,
So I
letting
knew,
go and flowing, letting go, let
yeah,
God, just the inner workings of stuff, the logistics and semantics. It's just like not concerning with all that of what you needed to do. But it sounds like you were just like, oh, I got to do this. Let me put some work, and then boom, it happened. Oh, I got to sell my car. Let me go list it. Oh, I got to try to break my lease. And it was just all this stuff, which a lot of people will look at and be overwhelmed with stress and anxiety. Oh, I have to break my lease. Oh my God, what are they gonna say? What if this bad thing happens? What if all this happens? Oh, I have to sell my car. What if I get, screwed on and I can't sell it in time? I have to find a room. Do you see people will look at and quantify the what if being super negative right out of the gates? Were you doing that?
no, and I think it's because I've always been into this, I guess, training before. Like I read a lot of Joe Dispenza and I read a lot of those books and watched a lot of your videos and um I kind of had this internal knowing, I guess, of like, and I was also using affirmations like it was just gonna work out.
Yes.
So, but it's funny because my parents are not like that. So, like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I was talking to my dad, he's like, "You gotta your mind's gotta be going 100 miles an hour. I'm sure you're freaking out. I'm sure all this stuff." And I was like, "No,
You're like, I
I
am
really
now,
don't."
Dad, because you're like so to the embers. I wasn't even
Yeah.
4 minutes ago. Yeah, yeah.
He was really like, "You should be freaking," like, he was, like, freaking out, and
Yeah.
it was like I was like, "It's fine. Like, everything's gonna work out." And it did.
That's
So
awesome.
I had a really good, thing. It was I was pretty sad to leave Charleston just
Sure.
because it is a pretty amazing place, and it was my 2, like, closest friends from college, and we had a great group down there, and, it was a really great life. So, I did grieve, I guess, a little bit of that part, and there's still times when, I'm on the subway or I see some crazy stuff, and I'm like, "Ah, it'd be nice to go to the beach right now," but,
And we'll talk about that too a little bit as well.
yeah, it feels like I'm meant to be here, and it's funny because you talk about stories or stuff I was filming my whole life, especially in college, people would ask me, "Were you looking at postcard? Are you looking at New York?" And I was always like, "I will never move to New York City. I
Yeah.
hate New York. I came here as a kid and I hated it." And like being from the mountains, I always was like, "I will never ever move to New York." And of course, that's where I was brought. So
Yeah.
I think I'm meant to be here to learn some stuff.
Yeah.
So I have that paradigm for sure.
That's phenomenal. And just congratulations overall. So a lot of cool stuff happening. Now, why don't you catch us up after all of this change? I do want you to share more so on like what we talked about. And I think everybody would appreciate that. Like what we talked about, where your struggles were. I think there was some relationship stuff there
Yes.
and everything. So whatever you're comfortable kind of getting into. And then talk about what you initiated, what we integrated in the transference of like letting go of the old mindset and establishing the new higher perspective. So they understand that this isn't just like, oh, let's just talk about these theoretical things. There's actual steps and practices and like work involved into that shift, into that transition. So can you speak on that for everybody?
Yeah. The steps were, well, I got your journal after we spoke.
Yeah.
And then uh the affirmations, like I said, were huge for me with the 3 in the morning, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner.
Let's
And
talk about
then
that a little bit. So
yeah,
were you doing anything like that previously?
not really with affirmations.
Yeah.
No, I
Not
wasn't doing
not to that
affirmations.
consistency, like
Not to that consistency at all.
okay, so just once in a while having a positive, encouraging thought potentially,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
nothing
I
with
never really
that really laser focused intention.
yeah, I didn't really believe in it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, if I'm just saying words, what's that gonna change?
Yes. So let's tell everybody why that works a little bit. So what's happening is Adam was of the mind where he was focusing a lot on certain things that weren't working out. I'm not happy at my job. The relationship stuff is messy. It's confusing. I'm not sure. Boom. So when he was speaking to me, he was sharing a lot of his perspective being aligned with what his life wasn't. Okay. So he's not looking at the reality for what his life was and finding a lot of the gratitude and fulfillment. He was looking at what was missing in his profession, in his relationship and stuff. So I say, okay, one, we have to look at life for what it is and find gratitude. So when he mentioned the journal, a lot of that work is finding gratitude for what your life is now. You're almost like starting off and putting like a bullet pointed list together of like, I'm grateful for blank, my health, my wealth, my spouse, my children, my abundance, the roof over my head, the food, the job, whatever it is. When we stop and we look at what life really is, we're going to find fulfillment. We're going to find that we have more than enough. If you're not suffering through horridness, through starvation, and you're living in the streets, and you have a good amount of safety and security, and you have food in your fridge, when we are stressed out, we're looking at what life isn't. It's called attachment. Okay. So what Adam was doing was looking at it, and he was finding what wasn't fulfilling, what wasn't aligned, what wasn't good, instead of what was. And whenever we're looking, I've spoken to billionaires that are miserable because they're not looking at what they have, they're looking at what they don't. So no matter where we are, when we're looking at what we don't have, we're going to be suffering because we're going to be longing for what we don't have. So it's an impossibility. The more we get, the more we want outside of that, what we don't have, the more the suffering. So we had him kind of stop and be like, what are you happy about? What are you like grateful for in your life? So that kind of situated like, let's look at reality for what it is. And then I said, now every day, do some gratitude work too. From what I believe, right, was one of the other core concepts of integration for you, Adam, was establishing like gratitude every day. So now we're shifting the perspective to be like, now not only look at what your life is, look at what your day is. Now we're training through neuroplasticity, through the affirmations, through the gratitude work to mold our mind, our narrative into being present. And gratitude is the lens to see reality for what it is instead of what it isn't. So we're letting go of attachment and we're coming into the reality of what our perception and perspective truly is. So when he was doing that journal work, that is part of the process.
It
Affirmations work because they they are basically like medicine. When Adam was first talking to me, he was taking the poison. I don't like my job. I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I wish I was in sports. This thing is going wrong. This is going wrong. So we're taking these little doses of poison every day and we're looking for evidence to align with that poison. So we go to work, we look for the fault, we look for the failure. So I said, okay, let's not think that way anymore. Let's take medicine instead. So let's take affirmations. What happens is you create your affirmations, and what it is you start building this mind of resilience, of positive narrative, of positive influence that's optimistic, that's empowering, it's motivational, it's encouraging, it's creating this reality. And it's not, I will be happy, I will have a great job. It's, I have it now. I have it now. And that lines up with the gratitude, seeing for life for what it is. And what it is, it builds kind of like a barrier, like a force field of positivity because now we're taking this medicine. It's like taking your daily vitamins or supplements. We're not taking it when we're deficient, we're taking it ahead of time. So we're proactively building that health and wellness. So positive affirmations, doing it in the morning and afternoon and the evening, 9 is a powerful number, but more so, we're actively taking this stuff, ingesting into our spirit, our soul, our mind, our heart positivity, and we start believing it. And then this is where it's beautiful. A negative thought comes in, and we've built this immune system of positivity within our mind now. So we recognize the negative thought real quick, and it feels like it has friction in us. It feels like it's unaligned. It feels uncomfortable. We go, no, 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 no. I don't think that way anymore. And we're easily able to like displace it with the positivity that we've initiated, and then things start externalizing because we are literally changing our frequency, our vibration, our spirit, our energy, our mindset, our heart space, everything about ourselves, which on the quantum affects the field and it ripples out. And then those new ripples take time, but they go out and they start working in the field, working with the rest of consciousness. And over time, we cycle through our previous vibration and frequency, and then we're realizing the new ripples of our new and improved vibration and frequency. And that stuff is externalized. So our life literally changes. So sorry to be long winded there, but I wanted to explain to everybody like what happens with all this stuff. And of course, help you kind of really implement this in your mind so you know exactly what's happening and why it worked so well for you.
Yeah, and now that's so not everything's, great now. Like I
That doesn't
go ahead.
exist. I don't want to. We'll talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Like so now I guess I still am really struggling with the women thing,
Mhm.
but I'm struggling now with finding time to like I do the affirmations when I'm walking to work.
Sure.
And then I'll try to do them at lunch and then when I'm walking back, but like when I get home, because I leave for my job early and I get home late, like I just am drained. And so I think some of my internal work I've been putting off, like
Sure.
especially meditation. Um, and so I guess I'm struggling with that and New York as a whole is just so much different feeling than
Mm.
the beach. Um, and like
Yeah,
I
that
went to
earth energy.
yeah, I went to a store and got I bought some like crystals and some stones around and I put some plants in my room, just trying to like grid my room and make it more of a like a sanctuary for when I get
Sanctuary.
outside of the craziness. And that's been what I'm struggling with for sure. One of the things.
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. So, what time do you wake up?
7:30.
Okay. And what time do you have to be at the office?
9.
Okay. And then you'd have 20-minute commute. So you got 30 minutes to basically get there because leaving and all that and finding keys, you probably give yourself a little cushion, 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, and I like to get to the I usually get to the office realistically like 8:40 every day.
Okay.
Um,
So what time do
I'm
you
just a
leave?
morning person. I leave at 8. I try to leave at 8.
So you give yourself
Early-ish.
30 minutes to get ready in the morning.
Yep.
So do you see where we may have found a solution?
Yeah.
It's pretty quick
Yeah, I
there.
do. Yeah.
So what happens is you can set an alarm for 7 and then like 7:10 and get up, but I would give yourself 30 minutes more at least to double that up. And what happens is this, it'll be super easy. Your meditation happens while you're in bed. You don't even get out of bed. So you set a 7 a.m. alarm and then you sit up in your bed. And if you have a glass of water there, you chug a glass of water. If you have to go use the bathroom, you go do that and then go back to your bed because that's your room, unless you have a little meditation chair or little like area to do that. And then you just sit up right in bed. Okay, discipline here is going to be a thing, but like you can do this. You move to New York, you're able to be on time and actually early every single day, and you're able to commit. It's just important. So you make that a priority. So discipline here is okay, Adam, we're going to try something new. Tomorrow morning, we're waking up at 7 a.m. It's only half an hour more, and I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes. Okay. And then I'm going to give myself an extra 15 minutes to get ready because I'm establishing a different experience for myself. You're aligning to the New York rush, 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 go, 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 hustle mentality by giving yourself a limited time to prepare for what is a beautiful day and a long extended day, right? So give yourself a little bit more time to initiate like a peaceful, slow paced mindset. So you're not running through. You're probably kind of rushing to get ready in the morning, right?
Definitely.
So that do you see that you have power and influence over that? So control your integration into being more chill, more relaxed, therefore giving yourself a little bit more time. That means potentially going to bed earlier. What time are you going to bed every day?
Late.
Like what time?
Like 11-ish, 11 midnight.
That's not too bad. I mean, you're still getting 8.5 to 7.5 hours there.
That's what I try to get, yeah.
So, what I would do is when I say, do you have any questions about the morning?
Um, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when you sit up in the bed, I'm up against a wall. Like, is it okay to when you're meditating, like, do you have to be up or can I lean against the wall a little bit?
Lean against the wall, but make sure your spine is really as straight as possible, kind of like you're being dangled from a cord from the top of your head down. It's people say if you could avoid that, that is great. But if it's the difference between not meditating and leaning up against a wall while you meditate, do the latter. So I lean up against because I'm an ex-gymnast, my spine is more curved, and I have a lot of pressure when I try to not have a support. So I meditate really well when I have back support, and I don't when I don't have back support. So guess what I choose? I choose comfortability so I can get the most out of my experience. So whatever it is for you, you got to find the inner workings that make you very comfortable and allow you to be successful. Put some pillows behind your back, sit up really, really straight, and do not lean your head. So lean your back, but don't lean your head back because that will initiate sleep. So try to
Okay.
balance your head on your shoulders and set a secondary alarm like 7:20 or something like that. If you're going to do a 15, 20, or 30 minute meditation, set the initial one to get up. If you need two, set 6:55 and then 7 a.m. and then set a 7:30 so you know when to come out of your meditation. So you don't have to be stressed out about like, oh, how much time has it been? And did I go too long? Did I, because that will take us out of the focus of our meditation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. Now, going to bed. What is your nightly routine?
Um, I'll usually try to read for like 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and then I'll watch a show and then I'll go to bed.
Okay. So you're watching a show on your TV or your phone?
TV. Yep.
Okay. So screens, at least 45 minutes before bed, are best not to be watched because the blue light, it's stimulating and it's not allowing us to kind of have that natural transition from beta brain to that alpha where we're going into that theta and we're going into the sleep state. So with that stimulation, now it takes us longer to fall asleep. Are you like the kind of guy, person, head to the pillow, you're out, or does it take a while for you to fall asleep?
Takes a while.
So now with the stimulation, you're going to see that if you do the show first and then reading, you just make that quick switch, you'll be better and you'll fall asleep quicker
Okay.
because the book is not stimulating. So I'm not telling you not to read, but just swap. And then, try to do it where if you're waking up at 7, you're going to start reading by 10:30. If you're not doing an evening meditation. Okay. So watch your show and then be like, I start reading at 10:30 so that I can make sure I get that 8 hours of sleep. Because it comes
Okay.
down, where you're gonna read probably half an hour, 20 minutes, and then it's time for bed. And then you could start doing a visualization, little meditation where you don't have to be sitting upright and you can allow yourself to kind of be at a 45-degree angle, start the visualization, and then allow yourself to drift off to sleep. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But do you
Yeah.
see that helps? And then are you taking any supplements to have good sleep?
Yeah, I take magnesium.
Awesome. Which one?
Magnesium glycinate.
Perfect. I think yeah, that for the evening, and then, like, there's one in the morning you can take. There's a one that it's like a 3 like, different complexes that I take, which is awesome for the day, and then magnesium in the evening. And then also you may wanna consider, melatonin, valerian root, anything like that, potentially some lavender spray, whatever, because it's stimulating the really good sleep mode. And then also, do you shower in the evening?
Um, Sometimes it's
Okay.
either in the evening and then always in the morning.
Okay. So if you do shower in the evening, take like a hot shower 2 hours before going to sleep because your system cools down before going to bed. So if you're having that hot shower, it is initiating things in your body to prepare for sleep too. So these are just things you never want to take a cold shower at night. You want to take a hot shower, but not right before you go to bed because it elevates your body temperature. And while we're going to sleep, we're lowering our body temperature. So if you're taking a hot shower right before bed, it's counterproductive. So take it like an hour to 2 hours if you can before bed. But these are things you're throwing at that so that your mind will then go to sleep and don't doom scroll, don't be on your phone, and at least you're watching TV from, or watching a program from the TV there that will be helpful. But do you see now you're setting definitive parameters on like I start reading at 10:30 or 10:45 and I will watch a show prior to that. Now we have the discipline and we have the habits to be very successful so that we could wake up tomorrow and now we're controlling the initiation of our day.
Yeah, I know all that, I know a lot of the stuff with, like, the supplements and, like, no screens. It's just it's the discipline that
So,
gets me.
well, guess what? We're probably gonna have a follow-up interview in a couple months, maybe even sooner, and people are gonna wanna know, "Hey, man, did Adam hold himself disciplined?" So you've got a lot of people that are gonna be counting on you to show up. But honestly, you wanna change your experience in New York. You wanna bring North Carolina, is it? Or Charleston?
South Carolina,
Yeah,
yeah.
Charleston to New York. You can do that. You can bring and create your own little container of energy. Like just like your room is that sanctuary with the plants and the crystals and everything that you're creating, you have to decide for yourself how much of New York do I want to be drawn into, or do I want to be stabilized in who I am and what kind of life I want to live? And then you can create this little, like, just container of your temple, your sanctuary, your experience. But the discipline is what's going to create that. So we can talk about schedules and waking up and all that, but creating the habits and setting guide goals and guidelines to be very successful is what's going to help you. And so you're going to say, all right, starting on Monday, I spoke to Joe on Wednesday or whatever. I will start Friday or Sunday or whatever. We're going to give this a go and I'm going to see if I can make this happen. But the thing I can hear in you is you're questioning your own discipline. You're questioning your own ability to be disciplined. So guess what? That's a limiting belief. So affirm that you have amazing discipline. Be like, I am an incredibly disciplined individual. I can achieve anything I put my mind, heart, spirit, and soul to. I am really enjoying my mornings. I'm sleeping through the night. I have a lot of time to myself to do what I want in the evenings. I have an easy time getting ready for work. I'm meditating. I'm disciplined. I hold myself accountable. But do you see you're not thinking like this, are you?
No.
So now we're creating the new narrative by getting rid of what's not working for us anymore. And now, because you're in New York and because you have the new job, your affirmations, your beliefs now also adapt to this new environment, to this new season of life. So you got to change those up a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't changed them up
So
yet.
now it's time. So do you see how this all works? Because we've entered this new season. We're not we're not trying to create the stuff from before anymore because we're living a big majority of it. Now we're gonna step into, well, now I am more disciplined. Now I am more this. I am more that. Okay. So a little
Yeah.
assignment for you is to start creating these new affirmations for this new season of your life. And we'll get into more to help you kind of create those. But just right out of the gates, I'm disciplined. I have great unrushed mornings. I feel very peaceful, very fulfilled, very centered. When I go out into New York, I'm very present. I'm very grateful. I'm mindful of the abundance. When I return home, I am present. I'm enjoying my evenings. I get to wind down peacefully. I sleep soundly at night. You see the difference? How does it
Yeah.
feel just me saying that?
Uh, I don't know, it feels good, but I don't know, it definitely fired me up there a little bit.
And it sounds like you're having a little trouble believing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that familiar? Remember before when you
Yeah.
didn't believe that the affirmations in themselves would work, and now look where you are. So it's not the affirmations that were changing your life. It's you believing that this stuff works. You gave it a
Yeah.
shot. So do you believe you have the capability to be more disciplined?
Yes.
Now work on that. Now work on that. I don't want to hear yes. I want to hear, yeah, of course. Boom, confidence, pride, boom. But that will take some time, like getting into that space. And that's perfectly natural. Okay. So we're going to give ourselves some grace, but just believe you're the most disciplined person you know. That's not such a bad thing.
That's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's achievable, right? Because you, one, can't measure anybody else's discipline. So you have no evidence, but just believing that you're really disciplined is going to make you really disciplined.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. I mean,
Yep.
like, thinking about it, yeah, that would be great.
And then you're aligning action. So we're not just sitting on the couch eating potato chips, watching, Skinamax here. We're sitting there and we're going, well, now I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to align my action with what I want to believe about myself. So if you think and you start trying to convince yourself that you are disciplined, what does a disciplined man do? He shuts the screen off at 10:30. He takes out the book. He sets the 3 alarms. He may get out of bed and shake himself awake and have a glass of water and do 10 jumping jacks and then sit up and do his meditation. But it's aligned action. This is what a lot of people get wrong about manifestation. They believe if they just think it and they feel the emotion of gratitude and they do all that, then everything's just gonna flutter into place. But no, it's stepping up to show, okay, if I am this disciplined man, how does that man carry himself? What does he do? What are his habits? What is his thought process? What kind of narrative does he have? What is he telling himself? How is he expressing that? Then be that man. And that's where the challenge is. And what's beautiful is some theories of thought, some, you know, different sects believe that the thought and the beliefs in and of themselves will be enough to transfer out externally and change the world. And some people believe it's all the hard work. So why don't we bring it together and we do both? And we're maximizing our potential to be successful by showing up, and then through that challenge, through that obstacle course, we are becoming a disciplined man who not only thinks very highly of his capability of being disciplined, he shows up in reality being disciplined. So we're bringing both of those worlds together. We're showing up and we're thinking it, and then it becomes autopilot. Because we are disciplined and we have the thoughts, when we want to transition into something new, we want to take on a new venture or achieve a new triumph or success, we've already proven to ourselves what we're capable of. So that success comes that much quicker and more efficiently because we have the mindset and the action backing what we want to pursue and therefore achieve. Is all this resonating?
Yeah, it is. It's funny, I'm a big note taker. I was, like, taking notes, so I was like, "Oh, it's recorded." So, um, yeah, because when we first spoke, I literally had 3 pages of full
Yeah.
notes. Yeah, it's really resonating. It's actually getting me thinking a lot of beliefs with, I struggle with women.
Yeah.
Um,
See, like that right there. Okay. So the first thing right out of the gates, what do you think I'm going to tell you never to say again?
that I struggle with women.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna say, "Never say that again."
Never say it, never believe it. Just be like, I'm very successful. I've had a client who just railed into me, who just literally jumped into this buffet of why the dating pool sucks. And she was like, men suck, blah, blah, boom, boom, boom. And then it was like this resume of why the dating pool sucks. And I go, okay, did you hear yourself? And she's like, yeah, but I'm just telling you the reality. I'm like, okay, well, that's the reality because that's what you believe it is. Why don't we try this? Okay. I want you to write down the opposite of all those things that you just said. Okay. And she was like, what? I'm like, write down the opposite. And I want you to read those things over every day before bed for like 3 weeks. And I want you to find signs of whatever something is good in the dating world, in your dating realm. Whenever anything is good, I want you to write it down and be grateful for it. And if something's bad, I want you to say, this is happening for me, and be grateful that this bad thing is now pushing you towards success. Okay. Because if I get a jerk who comes across, guy, girl, whatever, and they treat me like crap, that is a definitive nudge from spirit, from God to be like, don't go here. You're not supposed to look here. This is not meant for you. So it is direction into a better space. There is never rejection, it's always redirection. So I'm working with her and we're doing all that stuff. 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, guess what she's reporting? Man, I've got these guys coming out of the woodwork. Like I dated 6 years ago or 6 months ago, and they just called me up, and then I met this guy at a little like outdoor music fest, and And then I got set up on this date over here. Now she can't keep the guys away. And what's happening is they are ascending in quality. What I mean by that is she's rejecting when she gets a yellow, orange, red flag, not right out of the gates, but she's watching for what she really wants out of this life, what kind of experience she deserves for herself. So she's rejecting the guys who don't meet that standard, who don't fall within those parameters, because she's allowed to want a very particular experience. And through the rejection, we say to spirit, we go to God, the universe, we go, I'm better than this. I'm worth more than this. So here's the way I want you to see it. This could be really helpful for you, okay? And then we'll go into more about what you have. But I already know the issue is that you don't believe you're successful for with women. So what happens is imagine yourself going into a restaurant, okay? And what is if you can go into the best restaurant in the world and eat this entree or three entrees, what would you have for yourself, Adam?
I would go into a nice Italian restaurant. 'Cause I love Italian food. Probably have, like a shrimp scampi and
Yeah.
then, chicken parmesan and then a linguine and clams. Some
Awesome.
sort of seafood pasta,
Dude,
you
you're
know?
going out to dinner when I come to New York, by the way.
Yeah.
You and me are one and the same when it comes to good food. So, I'm right there with you. So now, this universe and where we are, you're a patron of the universe. You're gonna walk in and that's what you're going to want to order within the dating world. You're going to start understanding, I want a particular experience for myself. I want this woman to be blank and I want to feel blank and I want her to look at me like blank and I want to look at her and feel blank about her. We're going to create that for you. But what's going to happen is you're going to go get 3-day old chicken nuggets when you sit down at this restaurant because you believe this restaurant sucks. You believe you will not eat well at this restaurant. You don't deserve the shrimp scampi. You don't deserve the linguine with clams. So the universe is going to align and give you what you are energetically transmitting through your vibration. Okay. You're going to sit down and you're going to say, I'm not successful with women, which is saying to the server, I don't deserve the linguine. Give me bottom of the barrel. Give me 3-day old bread. And the universe is going to bring you that. Okay. And then people are surprised. Oh my gosh, why am I getting this crap? This woman was rude. She ghosted me, this, that, and the other. Why are you surprised? You're getting exactly what you're transmitting. You're getting exactly what you order. So what we do here is we reject. We determine our value based upon what we reject. Do you see? So if we don't reject something, we say we deserve this. So easily what happens is that server brings 3-day old chicken nuggets. And if I teach you how to reject, then we go, I'm not eating that. Okay. And here's where people get scared. They believe that if they reject the 3-day old chicken nuggets, they believe that they reject the person who's ghosting them, the person who treats them like crap, that nothing better will come in its place because that's how the amygdala works. That's how the brain works. That's how ego is constructed is that if we don't get this, if we say no to this, then nothing better will come. And that is the biggest load of horseshit ever. What we have to train ourselves to believe is if I reject this, then I'm making space for something better. If I reject this, I am creating space for something better. So what happens is we say, I'm not eating 3-day old chicken nuggets. Then don't get the shrimp scampi because it's not a graduation. It doesn't make sense. We get 2-day old chicken nuggets. Then the universe brings those and we go, that's better, but I'm better. I'm worth more than that. So I'm going to reject that too. And then we get 1-day old chicken nuggets. And then we reject, and then we get a chicken sandwich that somebody sat on a bus for 9 hours, and it smells horrible, and we go, I don't want this either," and we reject, and sometimes we get tested by the universe, and it goes, "Give them another chicken sandwich that somebody sat on," and then when we reject, basically, we ascend because we are ascending our vibration of self-value. We're elevating what we believe we're worth through rejection with humility, with compassion, with grace, with love, not out of ego and arrogance. We're not we're not going through that world like Conor McGregor pushing people's heads out of our way like we're the biggest, baddest person. No, it's with love, it's with humility. And then what happens is we ascend through the dating world because now we're attracting good people. We're attracting people that are more aligned. But we're going to start to notice some things, some yellow flags that may turn into orange flags, that may turn into red flags, because we're not getting the shrimp scampi and the linguine with clams yet. But we have to work our way up. It's a gradual ascent. And sometimes it's a very quick ascension from 3-day old chicken nuggets to like a rotisserie chicken to a steak to what we ultimately want. And sometimes there's a lot of steps along the way because it takes time for us to build that vibration and that momentum to ascend. So, right out of the gates, is this resonating with you? Understanding rejection and the vibration that's tied to and how to move forward, we'll explain in with integration, but is this registering with you?
Yeah. Yeah, it is with the rejection. I think especially to holding on to the idea that nothing better will come.
Yes. So we have to tell ourselves in that moment, if we go on that Bumble date or we're meeting somebody and you're just feeling friction, you're not feeling the energy to be aligned, don't force it. Be grateful in that moment. Don't judge it. Okay? Because this is the clear sign that, oh my gosh, this is the vestibule. This is the container for me to assert my value. So we right away we go, you know what? It was such a great pleasure meeting you, but I don't feel aligned here. And I wish you nothing but the best, but I think we'd be better off not pursuing a romantic relationship, not taking this to the next level, not doing this, not doing whatever, and we find gratitude. But a lot of people reject being the victim. Yet another date that was garbage. Yet another crazy person. Yet another, narcissist, and they become the victim. So what are they resonating? What are they transmitting to the universe? I'm a victim. I'm a victim of negative people, of a bad dating pool. So what are they attracting? More people to provide evidence of that belief for themselves. So there's two things is rejection and with gratitude. Thank you for this experience. It's helped me determine my worth. I've gotten to the point where I can now reject with love and humility and gratitude, knowing something better is coming to me. Do you see? It's transformative. And then in the moment when you're doing that, you say these things, you think these things. You may have to journal about your experience. You may have to write down the gratitude of why that date showed you what you want out of life, why that date was a clear representation of the kind of woman you are attracting.
Yeah, that I mean, it's it's interesting because the ones that like I like are always far away. It's like I never attract anybody that's close to me.
So, do you see what you're saying right now? What am I
Yeah,
going to tell you?
yeah.
What am I going to tell you what to say
You're
here
gonna
for?
you're gonna tell me that I'm telling myself I have the belief that I can't attract the right person that's near me.
Yes. So how do you think the universe, God, spirit is going to externalize that and give that to you in your life? What kind of experiences do you think that are going to be aligned with that belief system?
Well, I know when that happened. I went back to Charleston like 2 weeks ago, and of course, like I was there to go see my parents and my friends, and like I met someone who was amazing. And she was like, "I just moved here," and I was like, "Of course you did, because I just moved away." And it hurt. It sucked. It was not great, and I was like, "I wish I could meet someone like that here."
So now you will and you can if you believe that for yourself. So no more of these limiting beliefs. So what I would have you do is one, before I get into just integration, is this making sense on a vibrational like frequency? Is what's happening to you, the way you're thinking, what you're believing, your entire kind of soulful state of being, what is being transmitted, and therefore why you're receiving these experiences? Does this make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does make sense.
So, just to clarify for anybody who's listening, I want you to imagine yourself standing in a lake where like the lake is, let's say, 5 feet deep, right? And we're resonating with a vibration. We are vibrating with a frequency, and that is sending out ripples across the lake like waves. Okay. So this lake is a perfect circle around us. And what we are, who we are, what we think about ourselves, our beliefs, our conditioned systems that are firing within ourselves at all time are the transmitters. That's what is sending these ripples across that lake surface. And these ripples, they never lose the energy. They never lose the power. You know how a normal wave will ripple out and then it will subside and then settle back into the lake surface if it was perfectly flat? Well, our ripples just go all the way out into the boundary of that circular lake. And then they hit the boundary. And when they hit that boundary, now they come back at us. They reverberate back. So the waves that we are receiving are initiated by our intention, our energy, our initial vibration. And so what we receive is externalized. And it looks like, oh, this is happening to me. But actually, we are the force that is creating this wave, this ripple. But it takes time for it to go out and come back. It's called the law of gestation. Just like a sprout needs time or a seed needs time to sprout into that beautiful blooming rose. Okay. So what happens is on this day right now, just like when we had the previous call, you were of a certain mind and belief system. And I said, this is garbage. You can't think that way anymore. Toss it, recreate it, then allow this to build time. So if you're standing in that lake, we're still going to receive the old vibration in forms of waves because the waves have to go all the way out to the border of the lake, rebound on that, and then come back to us. So if we stop and we transform our vibration and that transmission at this very moment, which we are doing right now together, Adam, then the new vibration sends out new ripples. But what are we getting? We're getting the old ripples until the new ripple takes its time to go to that boundary, reverberate back off of it, rebound back off, and come to us. That takes time. Okay. So it needs time to gestate, to kind of formulate in the external and rebound back to us. So if you transform and shift your mindset today and you're doing affirmations in the next days, you're still going to see women that could be potentially great from outside of New York. You're still going to get little hard times. You're going to have little struggles, but then given enough time, you're going to see the new representation of your new and improved vibration externalized in reality. And you're going to be like, "Holy cow, I ran into this gal at the subway. I bumped heads with this one at the grocery store. I found this great one on Bumble," or whatever it is. It will happen and she'll be there living in New York, and then you'll see if they're aligned but you're going to start attracting that, and that's how it works. But the whole time you have to have the mindset of, if she's not the one, I'm making space for somebody better. I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for the gal I met while visiting my folks. She was the perfect representation of what I'm attracting in New York. Do you see? It's a gift. It's not a punishment. But people turn around and they look at it and they go, this is why I'm a victim. This is why I'm a victim of this. And then what are you creating by sending out that transmission? Spirit God's hearing you say they are a victim. So let them continue to meet people when they're traveling. Let them continue to meet people that are close, but not close enough.
Yeah, I guess the follow-up would be, I was good at doing it with my job, but, like, I don't know how that looks like in dating with the affirmations
It's
and visions.
exactly
It's
the
just like
same
like how to
recipe.
do it.
Yep. So I did this for myself in every aspect of my life, every facet of my life. I've done this with clients, numerous people through just financial success, finding their calling, being very successful with their business, and creating that potential for love. Okay. I've had people get through out of 30-year divorces with numerous children and then start over and have an amazing co parenting relationship with their ex and find the love of their life. find their soulmate. I've done this for myself. So what happens is one, set the goal. And people are like, okay, set the goal. She's got to be 5'3" and banging body. And no, 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 no. It's not that, right? The universe knows what you're attracted to. You don't have to worry about that. It knows what your favorite color is because that's what you're vibrating and transmitting. It knows your attraction, right? Does that make sense? Like you don't have to
Yeah.
convince yourself of what you're attracted to because that's what you are already at. Like this. Just so everybody listening understands, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Yeah.
Uh, Probably navy blue.
What if I told you you're wrong and it's yellow? You'd be like,
Uh,
that doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
No, like I'm just literally attracted to navy blue. Tell me the evidence why. Just give me all the reasons. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm just drawn to that color. So, do you see attraction, a natural attraction doesn't have to be implemented. So, we don't have to worry about being, creating a goal of finding that dark skinned girl, that blonde hair, or that bust, or this, that, and the other. None of that stuff is important because we already are transmitting that vibration to the universe. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, what's important when we're setting a goal with love, with that romantic relationship, is how does she make me feel? How do I want to feel in this relationship? How do I want to make her feel? So, you will set a goal and you will write down how you want to feel. I want to feel respected. I want to feel supported. I want to feel strong. I want to feel like a capable protector, provider. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel heard. I want to feel honored. I want to feel loved. I want to have intellectual conversation. I want to feel stimulated. I want to be attractive. I want to be attracted. I want to feel strong. Whatever it is to you, okay? These are feelings. So we go through life feeling our way through. And emotion and feeling are the expressions of how a quality of experience is determined. It's not the logistics. You're not with an experience like eating at an Italian dinner and being like, oh my gosh, this fork was this shade of steel. The tablecloth was this texture. It's not sensory awareness. It's how the experience makes you feel. Do you see this? So when you go to a great Italian restaurant and have a good experience, what do you tell people to relate that? The food was so good. What does that mean? I'm sitting there smiling the whole time. I'm having a good emotion. I'm feeling fulfilled. It's awesome flavor. It's fun to eat this. The atmosphere is nice. The ambiance is great. I feel comfortable. I feel special. Do you see? It's all an emotional understanding. So if I'm creating a goal, we're going to reverse that process. How does that woman make you feel? How does that being in that relationship make you feel? Grateful. I'm grateful to share this bond, to go on adventures together, to explore creating a family, to move in together. I'm excited for all these adventures, but I feel confident. I feel sexy. I feel challenged. I feel supported. If I feel loved, I feel seen. I feel heard. Do you see how this all comes together? And now you're picturing this future reality through emotion. Then,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we create that. So you write that down. And then you say, this is the experience I want out of love. It's not about a woman now, is it? Do you see it's an energetic frequency? It's an experience. It's not about this woman anymore. You're falling in love with the actual sacredness of possibility, the potential that's lingering out there in the ether. That's what you're falling in love with. You don't have to find a woman now. You're attracting that experience, and the right woman will fill that experience and create that potential with you. Just like that job found you, right? You weren't creating I'm gonna be in New York. New York is like, I'm gonna live in New York is like, she's gonna be, blonde with green eyes. She's gonna be 5'3". I'm gonna live 20 minutes from my work. I'm gonna find roommates. All that shit is the semantics, the logistics. We don't give a shit about it. We created the experience. I wanna feel fulfilled at my job. I want to work with sports. I want that challenge. I want that camaraderie. I want that industry. I want that environment and experience. And then God and spirit and the universe goes, okay, now I'm going to show you how it looks in logistics. So we don't worry about logistics because you could have never fucking wrote the script of what you're doing right now, could you have? Could you have ever
No.
called moving to New York, selling the car, getting rid of the old roommates, having them move in, getting good money for the car, finding the place 20 minutes away, new roommates that you know, not jumping on Craigslist with strangers, all these things. You could have never orchestrated that. Do you see? Because that's none of your damn business. Leave that to God, leave that to spirit and the universe. You created the emotional experience. So rinse and repeat. Take that same recipe and go, what does it mean to be with a woman to me? What kind of life do I want? Do I want children? Do I want to live with her? Do I want to live in separate spaces and spend time? Do we want to travel together? Do we want to start a business together? Like, I don't know, but like, this is what I want to experience. You already have that in you, don't you?
Yes.
Good. Write it down. Write it down emotionally. Okay. So now once you've written that down, we know what we're attracting. You've never created that before, have you?
No.
So how does God, the spirit, the universe know what the hell we want? We haven't shared it. We haven't ordered that. Do you see? This is our shrimp scampi, man. So we're
Yeah.
creating that. We're picking this from the menu. Then what happens is you're going to visualize this. You're going to write down a scene or two or three. Okay. Keep it PG, man. Don't go R rated here right now. But you're going to create scenes. I would create dates. When I was doing this for myself, I was traveling through Portugal and Spain, and I was visualizing finding this woman and experiencing this stuff together. And I was a widower. You know, my wife passed away. I had a ton of baggage. I was believing a lot that I wouldn't find a woman again. I had to retrain my whole mindset. And then I used visualization to experience dates. So I would visualize walking down the beach hand in hand. I would visualize making an Italian dinner, sipping on wine, listening to Otis Redding, dancing in the kitchen, feeling that sexiness, feeling that unity, feeling that intimacy. I would visualize being under the sheets on a Sunday morning, you know, harsh breath, waking up a little hungover, snuggling, having fun in the morning on a Sunday with nothing to do with this beautiful woman. I didn't picture a beautiful woman. I visualized an experience and how it made me feel. So the woman is a silhouette. She's a shadow because I don't care. God will give me the woman. I'm manifesting the experience emotionally. So when you create your goal and you've written it all out emotionally, now create the scenes. Okay, we're on the beach. I'm riding a motorcycle. We're taking a cruise together. We're going zip lining. We're doing a museum tour in New York. I don't know, whatever's good for you, whatever you like, whatever you want to do. And then when you create those scenes, write them out. You can use AI these days and be like, help me create a guided visualization meditation. Here are three scenes I want to experience. Here are the emotions that I want to experience with this beautiful, loving relationship. And now bring to life the sensory experience. Tell me what I'm tasting, smelling, touching, hearing, and feeling. What am I seeing? Make it real. And then when we visualize that, the subconscious doesn't know this is imagined. So it thinks we're actually experiencing this when we visualize it. Then we're transmitting that vibration, that message. We're placing that order with the restaurant of the universe. And when we do that over and over again, we become that vibration. We attract that experience into our reality. So that is part of the process. Are you with me on this?
Yeah, when you do the visualization, is it like a just like a meditation where you're like laying in bed like before bed? Like how what does that kind of look like, I guess?
Well, if you pay me a little bit of money, I can tell you exactly what to do. No, I'm just kidding. So that's an excellent question because a lot of people get this part wrong, but you don't have to overthink it. But you have to have parameters to keep you very structured because the mind will wander. Monkey mind. You'll kind of start off with something. So what you do is when you create those scenes, write all that out or use ChatGPT or one of the other AI things to create this guided script with the scenes, pick walking down the beach, making a dinner together. Okay. So you've got that down, read that over. Kind of like an actor preparing for this scene in a play or a movie. You're knowing your lines, you're getting familiar with the experience. Okay. Then you can pre record that and listen to it. Or what you can do is once you've read it over 10 times, is that in the nighttime, after you're done reading your book and you're like, it's time for lights out, you're going to lay back a little bit, not all the way. And you're going to imagine standing in front of a door. You're going to see your hand reach out and turn that door handle and walk through that door. And as you walk through that door, you are entering a scene. So see yourself in the kitchen making food, sipping wine, and feel her arms snake around you and like dance with you as you're stirring the shrimp scampi. Then twirl her around and dance with her in the kitchen, listening to Otis Redding. Okay, have that scene play out. Smell it, taste it, feel it, listen to the tunes of the Temptations or Chris Stapleton, whatever is your jam, and live that experience. Feel the warmth, and importantly, feel the attraction, the gratitude. Oh my God, this woman is such a gift, such a blessing. I feel great around her. I feel what? The emotions you listed when you set the goal. I feel confident. I feel seen. I feel respected. I feel heard. I feel attractive. And then go into the next scene. You're walking down the beach now. You hear the lull of the waves rippling up. You feel the warm sun on your shoulders. You're hearing the call of the birds. You're feeling that unity as your toes dip into the sand and the shore washes over your feet. You feel her holding your hand and squeezing your hand and that wordless I love you. You're feeling that attraction. You're feeling like this is it. This is what I've been longing for, and I have it. I'm so grateful. This is it. It's real. It's magical. It's sacred. It's beautiful. And you do this for 5 minutes, and then you allow yourself to go back to sleep or go to sleep. You drift off because while we're preparing for bed, we're exiting beta and we're transitioning to alpha brain, which is the gateway into the subconsciousness, theta. So we are planting all of these scenes into our consciousness, which is basically drifting through that gateway into the subconsciousness. And that's where real change is initiated. And then we let that seep into our subconsciousness with Jen. It then seeps down into our unconscious state. And you will do that night after night. If there's a goal, you want to be a business leader, you want to start your own company, it doesn't matter. You visualize this stuff. You want to win the Olympics, visualize standing on the podium, visualize, sticking that triple backflip and getting the applause of the crowd. You visualize it ahead of time, and then it seeps into the subconsciousness. Okay. So, does that answer your questions about visualization?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it does. Because 'cause I'm gonna do the same with, making some more money in New York.
Very good. Excellent. This is what I do. It works. And then you're going to align the consciousness. So now you're going to train your consciousness. One, I want you to write out 10 reasons why you're grateful to be dating in New York and why it's such an amazing place to meet this dream girl. Look at the reality for what it is, right? There's people who are living in whole bunk Alabama that don't have nearly as much potential to meet somebody as you do in New York, aren't there? So you have excellent potential to meet this person. Okay. Write out 10 reasons of why you're an amazing person. You're a great catch. You have a great opportunity to meet somebody. We're looking at the reality of the experience instead of the non-reality. All right. Then once you have initiated that, read that over every night, right before that meditation. Be like, let's remind ourselves of our opportunity, of why we're blessed with abundance to meet this beautiful soulmate. And then have the affirmations every single day. I have found a beautiful woman who makes me feel confident and loved and seen and heard. And I make her feel all the ways she wants to feel. We have this great connection. We're supportive. We encourage each other. She hasn't saved me. Because if you're saved, you're desperate. Okay. That's a completely bad lack mentality and vibration that we're sending off. No partner is going to save you. No partner is going to complete you. They're going to add to an already beautiful, magical experience of self. It's very different distinction there. And then you have the affirmations that align. I've met this beautiful woman. I love the dating pool. I've met somebody in New York. New York's a great place to meet somebody. I'm attracting women all the time. I'm meeting great people. They're helping me understand my value. I'm not settling. I'm rejecting with humility and love. I'm learning about myself. My values growing. But right now, what I hear from you is you're not worth meeting this wonderful woman. This is what you believe about yourself because you're saying it's New York's fault. It's proximity. It's my job's too busy. This, that. So you're providing the evidence of why you're not worthy of meeting a woman. Is that the story you want to believe?
No.
Then change the script, brother. You are the screenwriter. You are the producer. You're the director. You're the main star of this movie. Write a different experience for yourself. Change the plot and then start showing up and be grateful when you meet a woman. I don't care, red flags or whatever. Be like, I met a woman and she's helped me determine my value. She knows she's shown me what's lined for me. Some of the worst leaders out there are the best examples of what a good leader is and could be and should be. So when we meet these people, step up, show up with gratitude. And then your vibrations is elevating even more. Now you're attracting that person even further. So everything is happening for you. So as you date, if you get ghosted, you get basically turned down, she doesn't show up, no shows, thank you. Thank you. This is an experience I'm grateful for. I know my value. I know that I have just dodged a bullet. If this woman were to have shown up for this date, she would have been toxic and negative because she has the audacity to no show, no call. Is that aligned with what I want? No. So I just got saved the time of not wasting an entire date and wasting money potentially on this person that's not aligned with me. Thank you, Jesus. Do you see the different mindset?
Yeah.
But a lot of people fall into that victim mindset, and that is that lower vibration. So find gratitude every step of the way. Consciously, affirmations, consciously every day, finding the gratitude, finding the reality for what it is. Subconsciously, set the goal, set the stage with the experiences, determine the emotions, visualize experiencing that. And then
Yeah.
aligned work. Go out, jump on the dating apps, go to the speed dating things, walk up to the girl at the bar. If you notice that cute little smirk from across the room, approach, have the confidence, show up, build that about yourself by aligning that with action and behavior. This is the recipe. Do you see how it all works?
Yeah. Yeah, I do see how it all works, and I'm glad it's recorded, and I'm glad other people are gonna hear it, because there's some, a lot of steps to it, and I guess one of the last questions or one of the questions here is with that's a lot to affirm between, jobs and women. Like, how long should affirmations, like, right now, I'd say mine are, like, 15 lines,
I would just
right
say
around there.
this about the woman. It's just easy. It's just like, thank you. I have found a beautiful soulmate. Like, I'm so grateful because a soulmate, you don't have to really describe how she makes you feel. Okay, with the affirmations, it's different. It could be short and sweet, but you're anchoring into one truth. I have found this beautiful woman who is my soulmate, and I'm so grateful. It's just one line, right? But with the goal creation, we're trying to orchestrate an experience, and that's why we need to know, like, what these emotions are, but they all dial down to love and gratitude. But, love is and gratitude are experienced through being confident, through feeling respected. So these are like just kind of nuances of love and gratitude. So you don't have to get that complex. You could just focus in on love or gratitude while you're making dinner with her, while you're walking down the beach, while you're snuggling in the bed on Sunday morning. But with the affirmation, keep it simple. Thank you that I have found this beautiful soulmate. Thank you that we have this amazing relationship together. You're taking yourself to the future. You're applying gratitude for what's already done, and you're keeping it very straightforward. Okay. And if
Yeah.
you have 15 and you're living with New York, get rid of 10 of them and dial them down to be more general. Thank you that I'm wealthy and thriving with my new career. Thank you that I have an amazing, peaceful, fulfilling lifestyle and friends and family and experience. Thank you that I'm spiritually evolved and thriving within presence and gratitude. Thank you that I have this loving, beautiful soulmate and relationship. Thank you for my beautiful, divine life. I am so grateful. You see how easy that is?
Yeah. Yeah, and you're using a lot of, with gratitude, saying a lot of thank you, like, a lot I guess a lot of my affirmations have been I ams.
Yep. Thank you, I am. That's the power combo. So you're expressing gratitude. I am is the declaration of what is. So thank you, I am blank. Thank you, I am blank. I'm so grateful that I am blank. I have blank. This is the reality.
Yeah.
You see the
Yeah.
difference?
Yes, thank you plus I am, I like that.
Any questions there?
No, no, it all makes sense. Now you got me thinking about listening to Otis Redding. It's just
I know. You got me thinking about going and grabbing Italian dinner tonight, so we're definitely leaving this conversation with some interest there, some desires.
Yeah,
Dude,
Otis
Adam,
Redding.
you're doing so great, and I wanna just let you know, man, look at you've done, okay? So, everything aside, yeah, we're setting goals, but look what you've done together. I haven't done this for you. I gave you guidance. I gave you strategy, I gave you structure. I'm a signpost, brother, like, I don't carry you up the mountain. You did this. You were living in New York, better job, better apartment, better pay, awesome opportunity. Do you see what you're capable of? And if every little vertical, every little facet of life is created, achieved with that same recipe that you implemented with this transition and what it brought to you, do you know your power? It's already done, brother. You're just being given the sign and the guidance and the direction again. Now go walk that fucking path up the summit and report back to me when you found her, because that's what's probably going to happen. And just believe it and let go and flow with it, just like you did with selling the car, with finding the apartment. Go out and date and flow with that. Don't force it. Just be like, cool, all this shit's happening for me. So if you get stood up, be like, good, cool. This is leading to something better. Do you see how when you let go and you're that kind of canoe on that river and you just flow with it, everything becomes fun and easy. And you already know your power. It's already been proven through the first initiative, through what you've done with your life. And I'd say that's a lot harder than finding some pretty girl to fall in love with.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it makes me, excited.
Yeah. So you're just doing phenomenal. And anybody else listening out there, you're probably doing a lot better than you give yourself credit for. Just recognize that and don't allow those limiting beliefs to come in of like, there's something wrong with me. What am I not doing right? Why does this suck? I'm always, up against the wall with this. This always happens to me. Of course this. Let go of all that shit. Give yourself grace. Empower yourself, motivate yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself because you're the only person that really makes a difference. If you do that for yourself, you will absolutely transform your world, your life for the better, just like Adam has, and he's going to continue to do. So, dude, great work. Keep it up. You've really transformed your life in a big way. You've shown us all what is capable, what is achievable out there, and inspired a lot of people doing that. And you're 20 freaking 3, man. I wish I knew this stuff when I was 23. That would be so awesome. But like here you are helping the rest of us. And I just want to say thank you, man, for showing up, for being transparent, sharing a bit of your heart, your journey. And I would love, 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 love to touch base with you in the future and be introduced to this woman in due time.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you for jumping on. It was great. I'm learning a lot. I'm sure I'm gonna watch this the recorded version like 100 times. So, and if you get to New York, we'll get some shrimp scampi and
Yeah.
listen to some Otis Redding.
And also those other 2 dishes. We gotta do the whole thing, we can't just
Yeah.
on the chicken parm and the linguine and clams, I believe is what you,
Yeah.
ordered, so we're gonna do it all. Thanks for joining us on The Perspective Drop. If you found value in today's conversation, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments because I'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to be a guest or explore my other programs and opportunities, head over to joehane.com. Until next time, keep your mind open, your heart full, and your perspective higher.